All right.
Andrew, Franz.
Hey, Katz.
Nice to see you again, 2018.
Good to have you back.
Well, we did it last year, September 2017. It's been a year.
Yeah.
So it's been a great change since then.
It's an exciting year.
So I would like to briefly talk, tell us about it. So first of all, would you quickly introduce yourself first?
Well, I'm Franz, CEO of PortlandLabs.
I'm Andrew, CTO.
Thank you very much. So we just wrapped Cascadia PHP. It was awesome.
It was.
So would you give us a feedback?
We had an exciting 3 days, I think, of funded adventures with the PHP community. We saw probably 24 serious Concrete 5 community heavy hitters. We learned stuff at some different workshops. We led a few workshops.
We did.
We had a PHP elephant come and visit us all. That was pretty exciting. I think there's a lot of really good exchange of ideas. For me, there's really two big takeaways. First of which is we need to do a much better job on documentation, which I'm sure is news to no one, and certainly something that we've been told before. Seeing what everybody has built with Concrete 5, we had one session that was a show and tell that everybody had 5 minutes, and we kind of started with just really easy, putting a page in edit mode, kind of, this is just a web builder. And by the end of that session, we were looking at digital asset management systems and subscription models and complicated apps that normally you would have to build with a framework. And looking around the room and seeing people who had no exposure to Concrete 5, and even some of the leaders who did know Concrete 5 kind of go, oh wow, like that was pretty cool. And it's a shame that everybody doesn't get that out of the box and be able to see that just by wandering YouTube after one too many beers and looking at blog posts. And we need to create a much broader swath of content. So I think for me, there's a realization that documentation isn't just necessary evil that we probably need to find time and money to throw at and be done with. It's more about communication and an ongoing effort to create a volume of material. And then also kind of thinking about how to connect people, software, and infrastructure for the actual service that you need to build, manage, and run a website.
Okay.
That work set, the show and tell that Franz was talking about was really pretty incredible, honestly. Seeing some of the stuff that some community members have made, people we've never met before. And just seeing the kind of wide variety of really excellent add-ons and sites that people are building is very, very impressive. And I agree, there's this, we have a communication problem if people don't know that that's possible. So coming out of that, I got super energized, want to continue to keep the pace up on revamping and improving the community sites. Also, it sounds like there was a really nice late night work session that happened between members of the community that we're excited to get the feedback on. And came out of the whole process super energized and ready to keep working.
Nice. So you are planning to attend more events then?
Well, we've been pretty active this year. We've been to Sunshine PHP, Southeast PHP, this one. You can still catch us at PHP World this November something-ish, I think like 11-ish or something. Corbin's going to be there, Jess is going to be there. You might even see Purple Elephant. It's possible. And
it takes
who knows?
2 seats on the plane.
Yeah, it's really tough to fly in that suit. But we'll see. We'll see what the next year holds as well. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much. So would you briefly tell us about the update of the big announcement? So you wrote about the blog post about big announcement. You made a huge contract with the Army.
Yeah.
That's congratulations.
Thanks.
So we read the blog, so we can read about the blog.
Okay.
So would you give me the update, as much as you can? I mean, you don't have to tell us everything.
Sure.
I know you can't tell us everything.
But we are now triple top secret agents, and we know all of your secrets. No, it's not like that at all. It's funny because I remember when you were here doing an interview a year ago, we mentioned we've got this big thing that we can't talk about. But we didn't talk about it, and we got it. So
You're smart.
Yeah, we've closed a 5-year base with 5 option years to renew. So basically a 10-year commitment from the U.S. Army, which is a pretty dependable and large organization. They're already using Concrete 5. It's an integral part of what they're doing. We're helping soldiers, service members, veterans, and their families get access to the benefits and information that they've earned, and it's something that we're proud to be involved in. And we've got a great relationship with them. We're building all sorts of cool stuff, and it's helping the Corps mature in some really cool ways.
Nice, cool.
Yeah.
So then. You also going to have a security with it. So now I like to have Lisa come out and talk. So Lisa.
Yeah. This is Lisa Nicholson. She's our new Chief Information Security Officer at PortlandLabs, and she's here to help us achieve various levels of compliance.
So I was very, very happy to get headhunted by Franz and come and join the team. I think some of the people in my community, my other compatriots, were saying, oh, you're going to be going to a great place, but oh my goodness, is there a lot of work to do? They heard I was coming to get Fedramp certification for PortlandLabs, and that's something that a lot of really large companies are afraid to bite off and chew, but we're a really brave company, and we know we got our act together, we work together really well, so we think we can do this. We know we can do this.
Yeah.
Actually.
So what kind of a certificate you are planning to get right now?
So the very first one on the roadmap is Fedramp Certification. That's a U.S. government certification and is the most stringent certification that's out there. It's more stringent than doing all 5 SOC trust principles all put together. I know because I've done the SOC trust principles, all 5 of them together, and it's more stringent than PCI. So our first initial audit for Fedramp for Readiness is going to be January 14th. They're going to come on site. We'll have had a lot of preparation ahead of time to get ready for them. And then we have a mandate to have that readiness complete by April 11th of this year, of 2018. At the
2019.
Of 2019,
Yeah.
right. And at the same time, we're getting ISO 27001 certification as well. So a lot of the controls overlap, some of them do not. So, but just to keep organized, and that's a lot of my background, I'm going to do ISO 27001. Ironically, a lot of the controls that we do for GDPR already, a lot of the things for the privacy overlay that we're going to have to do for Fedramp, all will meet ISO 27018 as well, which is PII protections in the cloud. So put that together plus the Fedramp, I'll be able to provide a SIG, which I don't know if most people know what a SIG is. It's a full report of all of our different controls that I'll be able to put up and have anybody that works with Concrete 5 be able to download and be able to know what are the controls that we meet, what can they show the clients that they already are working with to prove the controls for Concrete 5 are safe. They'll also have an ISO certificate for Concrete 5.
Nice.
So the plan is that the downloaded copy for the latest version of Concrete 5, once we get ISO certified, will always be an ISO certified version. They'll be able to attach a certificate for, and then use it as a carve-out for any of their companies that use Concrete 5.
Nice. So that's the plan for late 2018 and first half of the 2019?
Correct.
That's the plan with the roadmap?
Correct.
Cool, nice.
Yeah, and then SOC 2, if Franz chooses to go for that.
Why not?
The security trust principle will fall out of the controls we already do for Fedramp. I'm not sure if we need to do the 2018 unless the client actually specifically asks. I don't think
Not
so.
yet.
Nope. I think that price-wise, that would have to be a client that took that on. But I would be able to say that we meet all of those controls because of the Fedramp certification.
Nice.
Same with PCI. We will meet all of the controls for PCI because of the Fedramp certification. So that's something that's nice for any future client of PortlandLabs to know.
True. We're getting very good at jumping through these hoops.
Cool. Okay, thank you, Lisa. Now, welcome back, Andrew. After having the new project, big project, you moved to the new office and you have new people coming up. Would you tell us about the changes that has been going on in the PortlandLabs?
Well, we've grown quite a bit in the last few months. We've brought on a few developers. We've brought on a senior user interface director, I think is
Gary.
Gary. Sorry, Gary, who you might have met online.
Yes, we have an interview.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, our team has more than doubled in size in the last few months and continues to grow. We're bringing on very bright young lady end of the month. Yeah. So exciting times here at PortlandLabs, doing all sorts of cool stuff.
Cool, nice, awesome. All right, so next, let's talk about the core of Concrete 5.
Sure.
I was joking.
So a new version is now 8.4.12 as we speak right now. So sooner 8.5 coming up.
Yeah, there's going to be another 8.4 maintenance release
Okay.
very soon. It's pretty small. There are just a few little bugs that we've been fixing here and there. Nothing major in that.
Okay.
And 8.5 is on its way for sure. That's got some bigger Express updates and some larger stuff under the hood.
What's larger?
What's larger? The biggest thing is we are including support for a REST API in 8.5. That was going to be in version 9, so you might have seen some blog posts from me on my own personal site or in Slack talking about that as part of some bigger infrastructure updates that were coming in version 9. Well, it turns out we need the REST API sooner, and and it doesn't actually change the requirements of PHP in the core. So we are going to be adding it in 8.5 for our own purposes. It doesn't really do very much yet. That's why we're going to need the community's help to actually make it work. But the underpinnings of it, including a totally new, easier to use routing system, will be in 8.5. It will be turned off by default, so you don't have to worry about all these REST endpoints being turned on when you upgrade. So we're super excited about that. Look to GitHub to have more details about the specific types of things that we'd like community help on in terms of where we can start worrying about it sooner, like probably getting user data out, file data out, Express data first, and then maybe moving on to some more esoteric stuff. And that's coming in 8.5, and we're really excited about it.
Anything else that you can tell us beyond 8.5? The big picture wise?
Sure. Version 9 is coming. It's got some updates to queuing and a whole bunch of kind of under the hood tweaks in that regard, and some PHP language type updates. It will be PHP 7.1 and higher, requirements wise. That's kind of where most of the bigger frameworks are going these days. Seems like kind of the natural. All of the libraries we depend on are kind of going 7.1 minimum. So that's going to be version 9. I don't have a specific date. The other major feature in that is multi-site, which we probably talked about online a little bit. That more info's about that's coming soon. We're still kind of figuring out how all that works with Marketplace add-ons and themes, but it's definitely something that's top of mind for us. So we're not going to leave any Marketplace devs in the lurch when we release multi-site, but that is definitely the sort of flagship feature for version 9.
Cool, nice, thank you. So, enough for the new versions. So I kind of like to go back a little bit because it was such a huge switch from 5.6 to 5.7 and 8. So now you announce about the end of life of legacy version. Yes, of course, there's a news about end of life release, but I think people might want to hear a little bit about those people who are still running the 5.6. So the reason behind it and how much support up until from now to then you guys are planning to do.
Well, I think the last, version 6 update was many years ago.
We've done a couple point releases here and there. I think the last one has been at least a year.
Yeah.
9 months maybe.
Version 6 is old.
Yeah.
We're about to release version 9. This is software, not statues. So you should think about rebuilding your site. We made the announcement, say about a month ago. When we first started talking about this non-backwards compatible jump we were going to have to make, I think back in 2013, we knew that was not going to be easy for anybody. And that's a real downer to have to kind of like plan around that. Look, we've got something, it works, like now what? So we committed then that when we made the announcement, we would continue to provide security updates for a year after the announcement of end of life. And we just kept pushing that announcement off and off because we wanted to be sure it was really time and easy. But the time has come, and we've made the announcement. And yeah, if there is a really critical security update, we'll definitely get on top of that. And I think there's some community members that have been pushing version 6 forward in their own way, and you know, I can imagine a build coming out of that, but it is definitely not our focus, and so it probably shouldn't be your focus either. It's time to move forward and join us in the future. It's also not something that we ever want to do again. So if you're debating that, gee, if I'm going to do this, am I starting the path of, well, version 10 is going to be non-backwards code? No. I mean, that happened in an ecosystem of PHP maturing in some really dramatic ways underneath us. And I think us not having that opportunity to kind of continue to move forward with PHP would have been a huge mistake. So it's definitely not in our vision to do it anytime again. And you should join us here in the future.
Cool.
Yeah, and just to add a little more specifics. Franz mentioned that we will probably do a build that incorporates some of the work that marketplace devs have been, or GitHub developers have been doing. Yeah, I think the latest version that's released now is 5.6.3.4. There is 5.6.3.5 in GitHub, and that one we will do a release of that. It won't prolong the year, you know, from the announcement, but people have been doing a lot of work getting Concrete 5.6 PHP 7 compatible, and there's some other bug fixes in there as well, and probably some fixes with the migration tool. And obviously, we want the migration aspects of Concrete 5 to be pretty solid if it's going to be the last version of 5.6. So that will come out. There's no timetable on that, but it will come out before the support ends, and it will help make sure that people who depend on that can have something to go out on.
Would you give us a little more documentation of migration tools?
Yeah, that is, as you might imagine, these things are in a massive amount of flux. When we first did it, I kind of did some videos, and then the tools changed a ton in about 6 months after that, because they had to, for the sheer amount of content we were migrating for some of these bigger clients. And they're also changing a lot again because of some changes in version 9. So as some of this influx status matures a little bit, yes, we will definitely, there's a lot in there. I mean, they're pretty undocumented as it is, apart from a couple screencasts.
So PRB, you guys going to close the 5.6 PRB?
Yeah, the marketplace for version 6
Marketplace,
will close before end of life. Can't sell
is-
stuff that you're
Yeah.
not supporting.
Which was November?
I feel like it was November. I think, like we
Okay.
said, 3 months from when we made the announcement, we're going to
Yes,
stop
that's
selling
November.
stuff. I
November.
think that's what I said.
Yes, so that was-
Moving on and up,
Time
man.
is-
I'm messing around.
Okay.
Do it.
If something wrong, if it's wrong, I just collect.
No, I think
Sure.
that was about
No,
right. I think
yeah.
it's actually my birthday. I think it was November
You're like,
22nd.
you know what?
I was like, no more version 6
birthday to me.
add-ons. Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to everyone.
Okay, cool. So it's quick. It was a quick interview. Any last comment to the Concrete 5 upcoming user, and then Franz and Andrew.
Well, hi. Yeah, thanks for coming back, Katz. It's great to see you every so often, and it's I don't know, it's really fun to check in and kind of hear about what you guys are building, which is super cool. We learned a lot about better ways that we can do stuff
Yeah.
for projects that we're working on. So, it's a
not
pleasure to
only
share.
us- yeah, not only us. Finally, you were able to meet the core community members from all over the world too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. This has been an exciting couple of days of putting faces to names, and really names to handles as well.
Updated faces to faces that were first uploaded 9 years ago.
Yeah, a couple more grayer hairs. But yes, it's been really cool to see everybody who makes Concrete 5 central to what they do, and kind of hear about the successes that they've had and how we can help them do better.
Cool. Thank you very much.
You got it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
See you in a year.
Okay.